Happy Tuesday. This is Tuesday Talks. Going live here every Tuesday. Let's see, I'm going live here on Instagram and Facebook. So 1 second. What's up? What's up? All right. Good morning. Good morning. I'm rocking some face art over here on Instagram. I'm rocking the no face art over here on Facebook. I love filters. I mean, they can be a little whack, but they're also really fun. So, Tuesday Talks. So, I go live every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and I just talk about a topic based on one word because words matter, because we all should just take a moment, at least in my life. My self-inquiry has been really anchored in words. Words matter. My family loves words. And I started to realize, well, what's my definition of these words before I start to realize that I was adopting everyone, soaking up like a sponge everyone else's ideas of these words. So every Tuesday I go on, I talk about a topic, and lately I've been riding a really cool wave. Like the spring themes have led into a big opening for me and hopefully for everyone. Hey Megan, thanks for saying hi. What's up, Pat? I love it when my ladies are here. So the cool thing is that as I've been curating these themes, I've been actually looking to myself in my life, like what have I been moving through? What are the waves that I've been moving through? And so I just wanted to kind of give a quick little recap before we get into today, which is freedom. Because today is going to end a bit of an arc wave cycle that I've been doing. And I just want to share where we are, what I've been doing, and why today is kind of an important day to hear the like through line. Good morning, Berna. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're talking about freedom. So I just want to quickly share that. All right. So if you've been following me with all these topics since I was in Mexico and here, not only do they mirror my own life, and that's been the beauty of this kind of give to you and also receive for me, is like we are rising together, right? Right, ladies? So we started with rebirth, then we went into cycles and rhythms, then we had plant the seed, then we cultivate our seed meaning our ideas and our beautiful creative projects. They could also be our thoughts. You know, we're really cultivating something. But to do that, you have to kind of stretch to grow. When we start to stretch, it opens up this place of the unknown, which then you can blossom into. From the blossoming is allowing yourself to enjoy what you've cultivated, what you've planted. Once you are blossoming into whatever it is that you're growing for yourself, there is alignment that kind of starts to center in, if you allow it, where you start to realize you're being guided, kind of like the stem of that plant. You're being guided up towards the light. And really that part is about getting out of your own way. And then we started to talk about integration, because once you start to get out of your own way, you're going to notice that there's parts of you and the new things that have to be integrated for this wholeness. And then we got into boundaries, because as you become the new you and you start to shift the way that you're interacting with others, boundaries are important to keep you in your alignment, to keep you in your own growth and integration. And when you do all of these beautiful steps, you come to a place of freedom. Now, I'm going to talk about freedom from a few different places, or two really, but you know, let's just get the main one out of the way of like freedom. Okay, so that was the through line. And now here we are, freedom. Next week will be one more, and then we're entering a really special sensory, awaken your sensory experience, which I'm so excited about. We're going to be doing each of the senses and awaken, and we're going to manifest through our senses. That's a little sneak peek. I don't usually tell you what's coming, but next week we finish this series, and then we're going into that, and it's going to be really exciting. I've got guest speakers or guest experiences for you each week. And the other exciting thing I have is, if you really enjoy these talks that I give, which are really just taking everyday themes and helping you manifest and bring your awareness to what it is that you are growing in your life, because I'm all about mind mastery and breath work, which is basically rewiring your mind, but also your body, so that you can totally align in what we just talked about, this entire cycle of being in control in a way of your navigating your mind, so that you can be less in the wanting and more in the having. I am going to be launching the Self Mastery Lab. It's going to be offering talks like this and group coaching twice a month. And I have a program right now. My 3-month program is called Rise. It kind of follows the structure, and they love it, right, ladies? You love it. So the membership is going to be only $49 a month, which is going to be a really great opportunity for anyone who's been wanting to coach with me and has maybe had some financial restrictions during this crazy time or whatever. You can just try it out and see if you like it, and see if this is the space for you to find the freedom in your life, and for you to explore. It's a self-inquiry membership where it's all about discovering who you are. And the main things I'm going to be working with people is like, it's basically to learn yourself, know yourself, love yourself, and trust yourself. From there, anything is possible. So I'll stop talking about that, although I'm going to be putting the link up probably next week for anyone who wants to join that. And I'm really excited because it also gives me the freedom to be all of me, which is what I want to kind of talk about. And that's why I'm bringing it up today, is that when I think about freedom, I think about, especially, well, in the sense of this membership, is that how can I just be me and also receive value? You know, how can I be myself in an exchange that feels so abundant? So when as an entrepreneur, I often would hear people, actually, I hear this the most. Well, why do you want to work for yourself? I want freedom. You know, everybody says it. And I always laugh a little bit because I said that too. But I'm like, be careful what you wish for. Freedom can also be that place of endless possibilities where you're like, uh-oh, if I don't create, which is why those boundaries, if I don't have the edges to know where that freedom ends and where I end and someone else begin, freedom can actually be really, 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 really overwhelming. And I remember when I did start I have been in business for myself since 2006. And there was a time where I did not know how to schedule myself in any given day. I was like, okay, what should I do today? And I remember that being like, okay, that's my biggest problem. But I would always look at other people and be like, well, how do they know how to do that? And it took me a while to really learn. And on some level, I feel like I'm even still refining this process. And if you can relate to this, and I'd love to hear if anyone, what I'm trying to get at is that for me, freedom is discipline. And I would love to this be an open conversation. If any of you want to share, what does freedom mean to you? And what are your thoughts on freedom being discipline? Or discipline is freedom. I guess they go together. As I was flopping around in my crazy schedule, thinking this was freedom, to the idea of, oh, I can do whatever I want, when I want, with whoever I want, you know, and I thought, oh, this is freedom. And on some level, it was, but it was hard for me to understand inside of that. And this is only the one kind of freedom. I'm actually going to talk about the other one a little bit more and longer, which is personal freedom from your own self. Yeah, so freedom I do value freedom to go where I want, and I do aspire to have that. At one point I was like, you know, when I get to this point where if I want to buy something, if I want to go somewhere, if I want to do something, that I did say I have arrived at a certain kind of personal freedom, because money does allow opportunities for me to then be able to do the things that I wanted to do. So that was definitely something. I'm not going to like poo-poo on the like having money as a part of freedom. I don't think it's the only thing. And this leads me to my other part of freedom. So if you are caged inside your own mind and you are in your own way, no matter how much money you have, you will still feel trapped and caged. And, people ask me why I got, landed on mind mastery as the thing that I have chosen to call myself a mind mastery coach. And I was a graphic designer for over a decade. I had a studio, which is what Metamorfize originally was. It was a graphic design studio where I help people brand themselves, and I logos and websites and so much of that visual creative. And from there, I found myself focusing so much on delivering something. Like I was delivering a logo, I was delivering a website, and I wasn't necessarily being valued for that conversation that I was having with people. And a lot of that conversation was about them getting out of their own mind to have the business that they want. It was me helping them create where they're going, not where they've been. So I became a business coach with a graphic design offering as well. So I could help you grow your business and talk the shop. And then I could also help you visually represent yourself. And then even through that experience, I was like, wait, no matter what you're creating, whether it's a business or a life or a healthy routine, morning routine, or financial abundance or a relationship, underneath it all is your mind. And it is either working for you or working against you. And it's either you're caged in it for longer than you want to be, or you're free. It frees you. And I think when I think of freedom, I think of that. I think of navigating my mind and staying calm and really mastering my mind, but mastering the ways that I move through life. That was not as a deep sentence as I thought it was going to be, but freedom for me is this feeling that I'm watching and I'm playing instead of I'm being that thing of life is happening for me, not to me. The responding, not the reacting. The co-creating, the realization that I already am free in some ways, and that a lot of what I notice in the mind mastery work that I do is a lot of undoing, a lot of unlearning, a lot of uncovering and discovering and getting back down to the core of the fact that we already are love, we already are free, we already have everything that we need within us, and that this sense of freedom it's just been covered over. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? It's been covered over. Let me do a little wavy wave over here to a few people on Instagram. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. We're talking about freedom. And what does freedom mean to you? I have that in my stories if you're on Instagram. Oh, no, I think I put it on both. What does freedom mean to you? Because that's the other thing, I pick these words so that you must define it, and freedom can shift along the way. Maybe freedom at one point meant for you, lately, for me, it was to be able to walk on the beach. Mexico was a huge, oh, look at that. Oh, no, back. Okay. Freedom was the ability to go to Mexico for 3 months for me and live out a passion and a dream that I've had for a long time. That can be freedom too. And oh my gosh, if you've heard any of my talks, you've heard how I had to get out of my own way. I had a lot of fear not to go to Mexico, but the attachment that I was having in New York. I had a relationship going on that I was afraid to leave. I had my apartment that I have this crazy relationship with that we're working things out. New York as a relationship. Isn't that crazy? New York as a relationship. Oh, New York. I'm in DC right now. I'll be back in New York, by the way, at the end of the month, in case anyone wants to know. But this actually, freedom to travel and have a business anywhere in the world was what I was striving for a very long time. That was mission freedom for me. In fact, I even called my bank account, I have a savings account, and I called it mission freedom. And it was the money that I was saving to put over there, mission freedom, so that I could go anywhere at any time. So I just remembered that. That's so cool. That was random, like pulling from the files of my brain right there. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I really wanted to say about freedom. I'd love to hear about what everyone thinks, what does freedom mean for you right now? I mean, it doesn't have to be like this whole big thing in your life, but right now, what does it mean? Let me ask that for myself too. What does freedom mean for me right now? Because actually, what I realized is I had achieved that work from anywhere in the world, which was great now that, this situation in our global society hit, where I was like, oh, I was ready virtual on. And so that was that felt really good for me to have that kind of autonomy and freedom already. And then I had 2 years ago, I went through a moment where I realized I had achieved a lot of the goals that I had been striving for, to me, that were representative of freedom. And then I was writing those out, which also felt good. And then I realized I hadn't really taken the time to set new goals and new kind of visions around what's my next level of freedom. And I would say right now that freedom for me has a lot to do with space and expansion. Like that relationship I told you in New York, not with my apartment, not the guy, was the fact that I love my apartment. I own it. I worked hard to own that apartment. And yet there's an awareness that I've outgrown it for a while now. And the stuckness of the gripping to it and the fear of what was on the other side. And Mexico started to represent that kind of freedom I could give myself if I allowed myself to let go of the apartment. So in some ways, I'm hearing myself talk, and freedom and letting go, or the kind of freedom to have freedom from, I want expansion, so I must let go of the thing that I'm feeling trapped in. That was a little bit of a moment for me. Oh, that's my mom's phone. Freedom. So, Shelly, thank you for sharing freedom. It's like expansion and a breath of fresh air. Oh, actually, thank you so much for bringing up the breath. Perfect segue into the tarot cards. So if you're still here, I see a bunch of you here on Facebook and on Instagram. Give me a number, and I'm going to pick you a tarot card in relation to freedom while I just address this breath thing, because as you know, I'm a breathwork practitioner, and I read people's breath. Breathing is, talk about the ultimate freedom. You're alive. That's why I really encourage people to get to know your breath. How big of a breath can you take? Is that ability to inhale? Is that receiving energy? Exhaling, giving energy. Let's have a moment right now. Take 3 breaths with me, because why not? Ready? I do the connected breath, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. A little more powerful. Do what you can. Do what you want. That's what I'm going to do. Here we go. Ready? Breathe in freedom. Breathe out freedom. Last one. Make it really big. Make it really big. I am free to be me. That is actually the affirmation for this week. And it's really important that we all also, I think, in this conversation of freedom, have a reminder that it is it is okay, and you are free to be you. And we live in a society that we're always comparing ourselves to other people, and it's really hard sometimes to hear that through all that noise who you really are. And that's why things like the Self Mastery Lab, my membership program, are so important, because you take the time to learn yourself, know yourself, and trust yourself and love yourself. And that's how you get to the sort of freedom that you've been hearing me talk about, radical acceptance and zero fucks, because from there you feel free. And then you're in your isness, you're in your source energy. And from there, anything is possible. And you know what? I do all this work, and I've been talking about this for decades, and there's always that little tiny 0.001% skepticism, even inside of me, where I'm like, what is this source energy, alignment, integration, discipline is freedom bullshit? You know what? like I even might try to call myself on my own bullshit. But now that I have arrived at it, because all those cliches people say, it's like, you gotta love yourself before others love you, like all of them. They all have a little bit of truth to it. And now that I am tapped into source energy, you don't have to believe me. That's fine. Go on your own journey. But I will say that it's true. Like, when you're tapped in, things do start to arrive. Things get easier. You start to navigate life with much more ease. You find peace in more moments. You're much more present. I mean, life actually feels good. Manifesting is easier. Decision making is easier. And I struggle with that from a long time. Talk about not freedom. Wait, what's the opposite of freedom for me? Would be like, actually, trapped in indecision was huge for me. Like, that felt trapped in my own, oh my God, who can relate to that? Because what's the opposite of freedom for all of you? Because mine is clearly mentally trapped. I was stuck. Yeah, yours is trapped too. Yoli. Wait, Yoli, did you give a number? I'm looking up because I don't see. Okay, here we go. So here's some cards. I see Pat, Berna, Shelly, I got you. And Liz, who comes on every single one of these, texted me this morning. She wanted number 1. So we're going to start with her. Here we go. 11, got you. Okay, this is for you, Liz, when you watch the replay. Freedom. All right, and then who do we have here? Ooh, we've got, okay, Pat, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, coming back at you in 1 second. Berna, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Boom. Okay, Shelly, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Boom. Ooh, la. Ooh la la. Okay, it's a constant life's work. Yes, it is. Yoli, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is a constant life's work to go bring yourself back to freedom, back to alignment, back to center. And if you know my work, I'm always saying everything is traveling together. So it's not that we fall off into the trapped mind. It's how fast we can get ourselves back on. That's how I define self-mastery. That's how I like to navigate my life, because it gives me permission. Because I'm not going to be perfect, and nothing in science shows that anything stays up in any wave, any literal wave of the ocean or vibrational wave. Nothing stays up. It always goes down. A contraction is that preparation for an expansion. So it is how you ride the waves, not that you might have gotten slammed. Anyway, okay, Liz, when you watch this, you got silence. Freedom can come from this type of silence where you go inward into your own personal truth. And from here, you can feel free. This is exactly what I've been talking about, is when you free yourself from your trapped mind, when you get out of your own way, then you can find a certain personal freedom that then doesn't matter what's happening outside. I really encourage everyone to find this inner freedom, because then you navigate the world completely differently. Okay, Pat, 10, slowing down. Interesting. Freedom can come from when this doesn't mean that you have to stop like This is actually could be more about slowing down to be more present with all the things that you are doing. So even though you might be moving in life quickly, like I know that you've got a lot going on and you're building your business, you're working with clients and everything, it could mean slowing down to really take it in, slowing down to be super present, because really fear can't live in the present moment. So if you're present, then you are in freedom, because you are giving yourself the permission and the freedom to be in the only moment that matters, which is the now. This card also talks about that you are at home wherever you go. That shell of a turtle holds its home. So whether you're in Texas or in Amsterdam, that this quality of freedom also goes with you. It's not associated with the place. Give me some feedback if what resonates with you, if I'm doing your card and you're here. Let me know, Pat, what you think. Berna, we are the world. We are the children. Okay, so freedom. Once you do actually achieve these kinds of freedom, which is this internal freedom, and then this slowing down to be present, you can engage in the world. And I know also what's happening with you because you're in my program, but like this can mean you're moving through the world and interacting with people from a sense of freedom because you found that within yourself. So you can literally have that inner freedom to then give you this oneness on the outside too. Let me know what you think, Berna. I see you wrote trapped in your own fear. That's what that meant. Oh, so we were talking about the opposites. Okay, so you're trapped in your own fear. So here's also when you engage in the world and you allow others to help you and you realize, first of all, like I said, fear can't live in the present moment. So the more present you stay in your life, the more you're breathing into your expansion, the more you can feel a part of the world in the oneness sense of. Also, freedom can mean connection. Freedom can mean that because when we come into this world, we are connected to our mother on such a deep level, this source connection where when we have deep separation, that moment we come into the world. And then our whole life in some ways is trying to find this connection back, this kind of like, where do we belong? So much of belonging to me also is around freedom. And maybe this is, if you find your belonging, you can also start to explore a sense of freedom within and without. Okay. Shelly, you got new vision. How beautiful. Freedom can come from this moment that you get to decide that yesterday is an old you and all the yesterdays have brought you to this moment, this new vision, freedom to dream whatever you want to dream, to let go of anything that no longer serves you, so that your sense of freedom, that your new vision can be whatever you want it to be. Like I said, so much of what I think we do is undo, uncover, unlearn. So if you gave yourself this permission to vision out whatever you want for yourself, what would freedom, I mean, this is for all of you. Like I asked this and it was like a heavy question, I feel like, but I was like, you know what, if you don't ask it, you won't know. But what does freedom look like for you in your life right now? Please share it on my anywhere to share it with me. It would be amazing. What are we picking? 3? Oh, we're picking cards. I got you, Shelby. I'll get you in 1 second. I'm just running through this and then I'll do your card. So yeah, that's this one. Let me know what you think, Shelly. Yoli, Thunderbolt. Also, funny enough, these can actually be very similar relationships in these cards, because Thunderbolt is that moment in life that everything comes crumbling down, in the sense of like that we have to sometimes dismantle and things have to burn down, and then the phoenix rises from the ashes. And we come to a moment sometimes in life where we have to. I call it the power of have to. It's a beautiful moment because it takes decision making away in some ways. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Well, too bad. The building's burning, so you need to jump now. And I find there's a freedom in have to sometimes. I'm not saying I actually encourage change before you have to, but if you do find yourself in a moment, oh, hey girl, give me a number and I'll pick one for you. If you do find yourself in a moment of have to, kind of embrace it, because guess what? This is when you didn't listen sometimes to all of the clues that the universe was giving you to get into alignment. And if you've come to this moment, sometimes this is like, okay, well, the building's gonna burn and you're gonna jump, but don't worry because you see the person in the background. If you can remember like that the creation comes from the destruction, you can embrace this. If you can remember that the contraction is the preparation for an expansion, you can embrace this. What may look like a complete meltdown in your life is actually something recalibrating. All right, Shelby, we got 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Woo! Go with the flow. So we're talking about freedom. So sometimes, or not sometimes, go with the flow is, oh, hey, Adrian, what's up? I got you on 5. Going with the flow has so much power when you are in the trust of life and you're realizing that there's a current that you are literally always current, which is both electric current of your vibration and what you're putting out, but also the flow of like life. Like there's a universal flow where there are laws of the universe that you're either flowing with. Like gravity, we don't question gravity. When I drop this, if I let go of this, it's gonna fall, right? 100%, boom, yes, because we don't question the law of gravity. So why should we question the law of sacrifice, the law of supply, the law of thoughts, thinking? There's 11 Forgotten Laws by Bob Proctor. That is where a lot of the core of my work comes from. But there's also law of attraction, you've heard. So where in your life freedom also comes like once you tap into those laws, oh man, just sit back, relax, enjoy the ride, right? Which is what I was saying earlier about source energy and me being in complete skepticism about my own teachings for a while, because I was like, you know what, I'm also sciencey and I need to prove all this stuff. So let me know what you guys, what you think of that, Shelby. And let me see what's happening here. Oh, Herb, thanks for joining us. Lasagonia, 11. All right. Adrian, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. Celebrate good times. Come on. I mean, really, right? Freedom, full celebration of life, of who you are, of when, and this is lady. Hey, maybe you're going to have a lot of ladies around you dancing with you, Adrian. Look, it doesn't matter that it's raining. They are fully, like, who said you can't dance in the rain? Who said, like, free 100% to celebrate the big, the small, the medium of your life. Be fully in all those flower pictures that you take. Like, how amazing that you're fully celebrating the beauty of flowers on pretty much a daily basis. By the way, thank you for sending those to me. I feel like I get flowers every day. But yeah, freedom is to find the celebration in everything. Everything. Find the beauty in everything. I mean, did I say celebration? Freedom is to see and celebrate all of life. How does that resonate with you? Herb, do you have a number that you want? Lasagonia. I always love it. I hope I'm saying it right. You would correct me if I'm not, because I have a thing with names. Like, it's really important that I say people's names right. So let me know. Oh my gosh, this is like crazy spread out over here. Okay, 11, which is our second 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right. Woo! I love this card. I mean, I love how it looks. Oh, I got your 6. Okay. 6 and 13, and then I'm going to have to get off because I have a call coming in. All right. So, intensity. I mean, we don't really say this much, but live your freedom with intensity, which is what you do. I mean, if there is anyone, Lisagonia, that I have met that has embodied freedom. I mean, I don't know you on a personal level, but I know what you share with me, which is you have tapped into the isness, which isn't even a word that a lot of people know, which, by the way, I was thinking about doing a whole week on isness, so stay tuned. Intensity is, see how it's like a triangle? It's this one point of focus where it's almost like, what if your freedom was the thing that you were focused on in your life, where everything was in the lens of, does this bring me freedom? Do I feel free in here? I was listening to Deepak and Oprah this morning, and they were talking about awareness and how it's a skill. Awareness is a skill that you ask yourself, how does this feel? How does this make me feel? They said the example was two people were lost in the woods. One person was looking around and saying, I don't think I can get out of here. There's no way I can get out of here. And the other person was seeing all of the resources and all of the ways. They were becoming aware. I mean, my biggest thing is pay attention. Pay attention. So intensity is pay attention to what you're paying attention to right now. Pay attention to what you're, think about what you think about. But, your focus, where your energy goes, your life flows. And that's also leading to what is either bringing you freedom, both physically or mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or not. All right? That was cool. Ooh, I love it. We're almost at the end of the deck. I love this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turning in. I am forever able. Yes, you are. I love that. I know you've been through things, and that has reminded you that you are forever able. And probably there's been times where you've had to do this, which is turn in and go to the fact that freedom is, we're circling back to what I said, is that it's mental freedom. If you feel trapped inside your own mind, inside of indecision, inside of limbo, inside of this unconscious decision making that sometimes we can get caught up, or if you get caught up in comparing and not really living from the inside out, then you start to get like pinball machine around life, where you're not sure what's you, and where back to that boundary thing is where you end and someone else begins. Freedom comes first from within. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Oh, I should have worn that shirt today. I don't have it with me here. Tell me what resonates with you on that. I need your energy. You got it right here. That's what somebody wrote. That's cool. Thank you for appreciating my energy. Let's talk about something I've cultivated in the sense of freedom. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to go to the top of the deck. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Herb, what a great card to end on today, okay? Because ordinariness. So much of the time we're striving for this extraordinary way of being, an extraordinary way of living, when actually freedom can come from the basic, simplest things that we do in our everyday life. Drinking a glass of water, washing your hands. I was just talking to somebody this week about meditation, and I was like, yeah. He said, do you meditate? And I was like, yes, I do meditate every day. And I define meditation probably different from other people who teach it and do it, which is if you are fully present with whatever you're doing. You can turn washing your hands into a meditation. You can turn taking a shower. I remember my first meditation class here in DC. I was spinning out, totally lost. I'd come back from Amsterdam, broke up with the guy that I was seeing there, and I was like a mess. And I went to this church where they were offering, I saw it at a cafe, the little thing by the bathroom. It's funny how those things always find you when you need them. Wait, I'm coming back to this. And I went and I sat, he was giving a style of Vipassana. And I remember he said one of our assignments was to go home, and the next time we wash dishes, to literally start naming things. He was like, you're doing the dishes, water, warm, plate, fork. Like, bring yourself into the present moment on such an ultra level. By the way, if you suffer from any sort of anxiety or depression and things like this, those depression has a lot to do with your linking onto the past, and you're like, dragging it into your present moment. Anxiety and fear based living and panic have a lot to do with bringing your future into the present moment. So when you start naming things like lamp, dolls, my mom has, whatever, blue, cup, glass, what? You're so in the present moment, you're not depressed in that. In those nanoseconds, you are not depressed. In those nanoseconds, you are not in fear. So bring the ordinary moments. Start to look at them as your meditation. So Herb, tell me what you think about that. Cool. What is this card deck? Okay, this is the Osho Zen Tarot. I do it every Tuesday as my Tuesday talks and tarot. This deck has meant this. Who would have said like this deck changed my life? But it did. I studied. I went to the ashram, the Osho ashram in India, and I did breathwork there for 6 months. Well, I did breathwork training there, and then I did every course I could possibly do, including many silent meditation retreats where I had to face myself and all of the places that were keeping me trapped and stuck, and I was seeking a sort of freedom from within. So this deck is so amazing because they're just words, basic words, and I'm all about practical manifesting. So how can we integrate all this into our everyday lives in such a practical way? So if you missed it, because a lot of you weren't here in the beginning, I'm finally launching, and please celebrate with me because I'm so excited. I'm finally launching the Self-Mastery Lab. It's been a long time coming. That's going to be my monthly membership. So if any of you are interested in having more conversations like this, where we integrate the cards, we integrate very everyday topics, it's going to be $49 a month, and you get 2 touch points with me, a monthly training, and a group coaching call, plus some other goodies, guest speakers, and it's going to be amazing. So freedom is so natural. We are born in pure love within our vibrational energy. Yes, and as natural as freedom is, so is the opposite. I mean, not that, because if everything is traveling with its counterpart, then the dance is to come back to freedom as often as possible. We don't know silence without noise. We don't know hot without cold. Everything is in relation to its equal and opposite. So we are love. We are freedom. And we are also the trapped. We are also, we live, because this is the world we live in. We don't live in a world where we are walking around in pureness, unfortunately. I feel like, again, circling back to the beginning, the mission is to, in some ways, undo, unlearn, uncover. Maybe I should put that content on the membership page, if that, I don't know, does that resonate? It's something like, do you guys want to be unlearning? Do you resonate with that as a thing? Like you're living your life kind of undoing, unlearning? Uncovering and discovering work, but for me, it was that. When you start to realize that the stories that you've been believing are completely hilarious and somewhat utter bullshit, then you realize, like, hold on, let me undo this. And in the undoing is the how you know yourself. This is so powerful, actually. As I start to undo the relationship that I was taught to have around food, because, if you follow me, my whole thing has been food addiction, other addictions too, but it wasn't even about the substance anymore. It was my attachment, my what was I feeling, the hole and the gap that I felt within me. Wow, this is a really long one. You guys, it's so amazing that you even are here still with me. All right, I'm going to honor everyone's time. I always say these are about 15, 20 minutes, but I know, right? Yoli, reconstruction, rebuilding. I love all the re's. I could build an entire brand on re this, re that. Redesign your life. Be the creator of your life. That's my tagline for my company. So, peeling the onion. I appreciate you all super, super, super much. I will do that. I have a lot of ordinary activities I can, yes, her, bring that beautiful love to each thing. Yin and yang, light and shadow. Yes, Shelley, the duality of life. There is contrast. We have been conditioned. So, yes, the undoing, the condition, the unconditioning. All right, happy manifesting, everyone. Yes, remembering. Now that is the key. That's the mothership R. Maybe, is it? Remembering. It really is. You know what? Because like what you're saying, Lesagonia, Herb wrote remembering. It's like to remember to come back to that true nature. To remember to, when you go off course, is the remembering to come back. Yes, remembering. Like remember your past, but don't bring it with you, or bring the parts of that you need. Remember the thing that happened so you don't do it again. All right, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Stay tuned for more Self Mastery Lab coming at ya. Feeling good today. Okay. Be in your freedom. I'll see you around. And I love you all. Stay steady. Bye. Oh, you are appreciated too. Thank you, thank you, thank you.